Hey, look, I found Predator book tie-in novels.
Oh my gosh.
You know, you find the craziest stuff in this town.
Okay, no, that's not good. Shit. Okay, so I can't do that. Can I do that? Are you done moving? Trying to get the chat into the video screen. Let's see here.
Notification that you're live on YouTube.
What's that?
I just got a notification that BookTube Live is live.
Okay, well, at least that part's working. Okay. Come on. Give me a little bit here. Let me just see. Okay, so it looks okay. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't. That's what my problem is. Okay, is that going to be okay? I guess it's a little bit behind. So, there we go. Okay.
You know, for anybody who's watching, don't use masking tape to make your price tag. Leave it on there forever.
And don't put stickers on the front of your goddamn books.
Do I have anything here that's a good example? Yeah, stickers should go in the back over the barcodes. Usually a good place.
Or right on the inside.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
The slate cover on the back is usually fine, and that way customers or whoever isn't opening it up to see the price and, you know, cracking the spine or whatever. But look at this. There's plenty of space on the back of these. The other thing is, if you don't use it, here's one that doesn't even have a barcode. That's how old it is. Oh, this is a Fawcett Crest book.
Yay.
Yeah, the spine's all cracked. I think I got this for a dime, so I was like, I've never read any Barbara Michaels. I know that she's part of that Gothic tradition, the paperback from hell kind of thing. So I picked that up. By the way, one of the authors of Paperbacks from Hell is going to be doing a presentation here in town on Thursday. The library is bringing him in for their Nerd Night. I used to work at the library, so I know the people that run that, so I'm excited to go check that out.
Where's he located?
I don't know. I think he's out in New York. I think because I follow him on social media, and he's talked about his wife managing a restaurant in New York City. But I know he's been doing various press appearances for the last several months. He's been on a couple of podcasts. I'm super excited to see that our local library is bringing him here.
Yeah, that's really cool. Ed, hey. Okay, so that looks like that's working. There does seem to be a bit of a delay, but I was hoping that wouldn't be the delay. Hey, if anyone's watching, if you want to leave a comment, even if it's just hello there, that would be fantastic, because I'm trying to see what the delay's like here, to see if having the live chat on the video is even worth having on there. Hey, it's Ed. Okay, so that showed up there. The lag should still be on my end. so that showed up there. 5-second delay. That should still be on my end.
Something like that.
Let me see. It's gonna pop up.
Here's an old tag for you.
Oh, nice. Okay. From Borders, huh?
Yeah, well, Borders is weird because Borders was my local independent bookstore when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And when I went to college, they got bought by Kmart, who then franchised them.
Really?
Yeah, I would go to other places, and people would go, "Oh, Borders is so awful." And I'd be like, "What do you mean?" Because when I was a kid, we went there a lot. They had a great kids section. They had a great art book section. They had a great section of maps. They had a pretty good section for fiction. And one of their big innovations was one of the Borders brothers started using computers to track exactly what they were selling, so they would know that they sold, let's just say they sold a whole bunch of Ed Gorman books in a given week, so they would know that they need to order more Ed Gorman. Or they could tell that, what have I got here? You could tell that Daphne du Maurier was selling, so hey, let's make sure we're carrying some of her other novels. And that's how they kind of built their business, by knowing exactly what they were selling in a given week and using hard data to track it. And so Kmart is based out of Michigan in the Detroit suburbs, and I'm in Ann Arbor, and that's where Borders started. So it wasn't that far geographically for the Kmart headquarters to see that Borders was a successful independent bookstore. And then I think Kmart also bought up Walden Books and shelved a lot of the Walden books and turned them over to Borders. So.
Because I just got a book on Abe that had a Borders sticker on it. So
yeah.
I hadn't seen one of those in forever.
I still run across bookmarks from them fairly often, and it's weird because they had, I think, 3 different addresses. The flagship store here in town had 3 different addresses, so you can kind of tell what era the bookmark is from by the address on it, and also the style and the design and all that kind of information. The other thing is, when I was a kid, Ann Arbor was in the 313. It was part of the Detroit metro area code. But in the 90s, when cell phones started to come along and phone numbers just exploded exponentially, suddenly our zip code, or our area code, became 734. So when you see old Ann Arbor stuff with 313, you know that that's pre-95. So I'm sure it's super boring to everybody. I'm just talking to kind of...
But seriously though, when you get Borders price tag, does it say price or does it say Borders?
Well, this one says Borders price. So.
Because I never had a Borders sticker say Borders on it like that before.
Here's the other thing I was talking about, covering the barcode. See that? Borders has their own barcode on there.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because what happens if you're carrying a book like this that doesn't have a barcode on it? You put your own barcode and have it in your own system. I actually interviewed at Borders Corporate back in '97 for a job which I didn't get, which is fine because they didn't last much longer than that. But it's interesting. I was there once, and I was one of those interviews where I had an interview with HR, and that went pretty well. And then I had an interview with the guy that would have been my boss, and about halfway through, he stopped talking about, if we hire you for this job, and started talking about, well, whoever we hire for this job. And I should have known right then and there that, I'm not getting this job. So, Borders really screwed up because they let Amazon run their online business for 10 years. So that's really why Borders, one of the main reasons Borders went away, because they gave up that online presence to Amazon.
Wow. Now, okay, so Ed and On the Stoop, when you say It's about a second for both of us with our lips and voice. Does that mean you hear our voice and then our mouth starts moving, or vice versa? Is that what's happening there? Speaking of barcodes and stuff, I'm trying to get, like with the Charles Bukowski I'm collecting, I'm trying to get as many of the Black Sparrow Press versions of everything. Oh, man. Did I really do that? Well, I fucked that up. Because the Echo versions or HarperCollins have the barcodes, but the Black Sparrow Press don't. So it's just like a clean back.
Yeah.
So, talk about ridiculous reason to be buying extra books.
Here, let me show you some interesting covers I came across recently. I like this one. It's got the all kind of neon thing. It's called Lonely Street. Is there a glare? I can kind of see a glare. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And you can tell that this is probably, I don't know, I didn't look at the date, but this is 90s, written in the 90s. Here's another one, like that cover. 300 years ago in the town of Childgrave. The town's called Childgrave. That just means you shouldn't live there to begin with, right? You ever seen any of these?
No, but those look sexy as hell. Ah, what just happened? Okay, that was me.
So this is, these kind of 80s, modern 80s meets elves science fiction kind of thing.
Oh my god.
Hot cars, fast horses, and elves to the rescue. And this one's called Born to Run. Hot cars, fast elves, and rock and roll.
I don't know if I like my elves fast.
I don't know. I found these really cheap, and there's something about this kind of ephemera. But if you look at the spine dress here, you can see that the change. And these are basically in the same series.
Now, Ed and everybody, when it does appear on the screen, I hit it right away, right? Like a second ago, Ed just posted, I agree, 5 or so seconds on posting a message and it appearing on your screen. So, like, for the people who are watching it, when the comments come up, we see them pretty quick, right? Because the thing that sucks about live streams is when the live stream's over, especially if you're talking about the live stream a bunch, it's not down below on some videos. I don't know why there's some videos have it and some videos don't. Or maybe they all don't and I'm just losing my shit. But it's very awkward when you're watching a video of a live stream and you're constantly talking about things people are posting, but there is no actual posting when you're watching it back. The other thing I'm having a problem with here is that if I take off the Skype screen, the Skype freezes in the video. So I have to have Skype as the top, what do you call it? Blah, 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 window in my computer. In order to have that moving at all times. Finger.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can see the lag. Well, let's try this. So I'm getting about a 17 count lag there.
Yeah.
When let me click back on this so that I can. So I'm not just teasing everybody with this book cover so everyone can see what it looks like.
That's awesome.
This is very, very 90s. Aggressively 90s.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. I don't have the Skype window open. I have the little Skype window open. But you're still moving. So maybe that was just my computer fucking up.
Could be. This is really odd because I can see myself in the corner. I've got the big window view and I got the little window. And then if I want to click over here, I've got, wow, there's just too many. It's getting all max headroom up in here.
Yeah. Okay, so how would I do this if I were... I guess all I would need is this. I don't need to see this. This seems to be looking okay. Now, for people watching, are the comments that show up on the screen big enough for you to actually read? Or is it, like, impossible to read those? Yeah, it has frozen a couple times for sure. They are very small. I wonder if I can make that bigger. Isn't there like a setting in your computer, like if you're going blind and you need everything bigger?
Depending what you're using. Like I have a MacBook.
I do too. Yeah.
I can just expand it, but it just expands the whole thing so I can see the comments. But that's not necessarily going to help. Let's see, top chat. Let's see, is there...
Able to read on your screen too. I would like it bigger. It's just...
Big thing for me was to make it so that, because I usually have the YouTube window so it fills the whole top, and I made it so that the comments are on the side rather than down below.
Oh, you know what I could try? Let me see. Let me pop out chat. See if that is...
That came out pretty quickly to me.
Now you're just gonna have like a ninja. What's going on here? Where's my chat? Okay, now is that bigger? No, oh, no, it just makes everything bigger. Can I make that bigger? Watch, everything's gonna go to shit in a second here. I'm gonna click something, and everything's gonna...
Oh, figuring out Skype,
right? I don't know if... Ooh, what's that? Nothing burns in hell?
Say farmer.
That looks cool as hell.
Only thing I've read by him is some of the Riverworld stuff. I know that he wrote a bunch of Tarzan books and some other pastiche kind of things.
Now, were those... Who put the Tarzan, the later Tarzan stuff out? Is that Tor as well, or...?
Not really. I don't remember. All my Tarzan stuff is in the other room, and honestly, I haven't read any of the Edgar Rice Burroughs yet.
Oh, dude, you're missing out. In fact, here is something fun.
One of those things that I need to get to that I have yet to get to.
In the mail today, if I could figure out how to... who is this? MyComicShop.com. Have you ever ordered anything from there?
No.
They, like, tape everything to a board.
Okay.
And then send it in a thing. So it's very nice, but it takes quite some time to get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, this just came today. And it is... For fuck's sake, open up. Oh. Open. Let's see what I got here. It came with this Fan Expo Dallas thing, which is pretty cool. Ooh, I better not let Zoe see this. If she finds out she could meet Jason Momoa, I'm going to lose myself a wife. Wow, they have a ton of people going to be there. Anyway, so that's kind of fun. Maybe I'll show that in a little bit. But Tarzan and the Golden Lion.
Nice.
The next one I need. And it's in the black cover, which is sick. It's a little crunchy on the side there.
Got personality.
Yeah. Oh. Is that Neil Adams? No, it's Boris Vallejo. Is it? Yeah, that's a Boris cover. That's nice.
Nice.
Ah, these are so gorgeous. Okay, so...
It's something I found recently that's kind of interesting. I haven't read anything from this yet. So this is mysteries written by members, crime and mystery stories written by members of the Algonquin Round Table.
The what?
You familiar with the Algonquin Round Table?
Nuh-uh.
New York in the 20s. Robert Benchley and Dorothy Parker and Harpo Marx.
Really?
George S. Hoffman. Yeah, a whole bunch of writers and actors used to hang around at the Algonquin Hotel and their restaurant at lunchtime. The huge round table that became known as the Algonquin Round Table, and it was basically a frequent lunch place for the wittiest of the time. Groucho Marx is reported to have said that entrance was a razor wit and a half concealed stiletto, or something to that effect. So
that's funny.
This is like early 20s. There's actually a really good documentary that PBS did on the Algonquin Round Table that you can find on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll check that out, because I just have been watching a bunch of stuff about Paris in the 20s with Hemingway and Fitzgerald and what's that chick's name? Stein. Yeah. I've been watching a ton of that stuff. God, YouTube has so many good documentaries, man.
No, it's an embarrassment of riches. What else did I get here that I can show? Yeah, I need to really get into some of my short story collections, but this was something that I saw and grabbed. You know, I go to these library bag sales where you pay $5 and you get to fill a bag and you find 8 or 10 things that you really want, and the rest of it's just stuff that you're like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have a local mystery bookstore, and I'm friends with the owner, and so I know what he's looking for resale, so I'll just throw a bunch of stuff in that I know I can trade in to him. And it's not about like getting top dollar for anything. It's, I take him a bunch of stuff that filled off this $5 bag, and he gives me $10 in credit or whatever. So I also got yet another copy of Rosemary's Baby. I should probably read this sometime, but the movie infuriates me. So
what? Why does the movie infuriate you?
My read on the movie is this: it's about the counterculture's fear of their parents being involved with their children. You have all these old people that want to raise the baby to be the devil.
Yeah.
And these young kind of counterculture types who are the parents, and they're freaked out that the older generation is going to have an undue influence on their children. That's just my read on it.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I got.
My irritation with it is like, I don't understand why people are so fucking stupid. And so like the whole time I'm just yelling at her, like, you dumb fucking bitch, just fucking, like, if you are not feeling good, leave. Like, why is this like a fucking thing? Okay, anyway, so this works, I guess.
John D. McDonald in hardcover. It's a reprint from Mysterious Press.
Ooh.
I was looking up Mysterious Press stuff when I find it. This is what I got at our local library book sale. It doesn't look like it's ever been read. This is one of his books I have yet to get to. here's another border sticker.
Boom. Yeah, look at that. So, was Borders like just a Detroit area?
It was just Ann Arbor. It was on State Street in Ann Arbor. Let me think. If you saw the recent Stooges documentary about Iggy and the Stooges,
Yeah.
there's a lot of footage of State Street and Liberty, which is the head of State Street and Liberty intersect. And there's a lot of footage of pictures of that part of town. Borders was right there back in the 70s, mainly. And like I said, it's a college town. University of Michigan's here. Lots of famous writers have come through this town. Lawrence Kasdan, the filmmaker and screenwriter, was a student here at one point in time. Every time you see a University of Michigan t-shirt pop up in a TV show, it's probably because there's a U of M grad that's working on it. Or it gets referenced pretty often. So it's a very literary town.
So how far is Detroit from Ann Arbor?
It's about 45 minutes depending on traffic. And some people consider it to be kind of a suburb. There's actually it's a different county. And there's a separation there. And because it's a big college town, people don't go to Detroit to go to the hospital or to see a lawyer or to any of those big kind of shopping or cultural experience. Sure, you might go to see a concert or a ball game, but there's enough local culture here
that would make you never want to go there.
Well, that you don't need to go to Detroit. I mean, I've seen Adam McGoyan speak here. I saw Bruce Campbell speak here. I saw Eric Bogosian was here. And that's in the last 15 years, and some of those are in the last 5-6 years. We've got enough. We've got art museums. We've got a film festival that's going on right now. We've got an art fair every summer, which us locals don't like, but there's enough important cultural kinds of things going on that it's not just a suburb.
Why don't you like the
art fair?
Yeah.
I describe it this way. 1 million people come to town, they hand each other money, and they drop their trash, and then they leave.
Yeah.
And the traffic is awful. Parking is impossible. It's the middle of July.
Yeah.
Where they're going, and they're frustrated. And it's a bunch of out-of-town people that are coming through and having this art fair. And the other thing is, when I was a kid in the 70s, it was a little more laid back because you had a lot of businesses downtown that would have sidewalk sales and that kind of thing. But you also had, young artists that were involved. These young, 25-year-old artists in 1978 that were, starting their careers. Fast forward, 40 years later, it's the same damn artists, and they've kept all the young artists, all the 25-year-old artists of today out by being so insular and just turning it into a little club. It doesn't grow. It doesn't evolve.
I hear you.
There's as much as there's art, there's a lot of craft as well, which is fine. If you want to come to town and buy a leather belt or some knick-knack to put on your shelf, fine. But, so much of it is still, the same stuff they were hawking in 1984. Art continues to change.
So when bands are touring most of the time and they hit Detroit, do they do Ann Arbor as well or no?
No, there's not really any venues left in Ann Arbor, which is a shame because, in my opinion, this is the birthplace of punk rock. You've got the MC5 moving to Ann Arbor in 68. You've got the Stooges starting in 67 and 68.
Yeah.
You've got educated people who come from an area where they're seeing blues, they're seeing hard rock, they're seeing folk music, they're seeing jazz. They have an intellectual background that's based in the beats and counterculture. And they're bringing that together into this anti-authoritarian kind of satirical snark that becomes punk rock. And as much as that happened in New York and San Francisco and London, that was happening here. All of those London bands, all of those New York bands, all of those San Francisco and LA bands will tell you, yeah, we were listening to the Stooges. We were listening to the MC5. We were listening to Bob Seger. We were listening to the Rationals, which are all from Ann Arbor, with the exception of this MC5 who moved to Ann Arbor. So you get that whole vibe. And the other thing is, because you have kids who are coming from blue-collar background and they're going to see Merle Haggard, one weekend and Sun Ra the next weekend, and they're mixing that music, they're not afraid to be rough. They're not as in tune with the fine folk music or rockabilly. They know all that stuff, but there's a little, and that's the reason you get like the Sonics coming out of Seattle and Tacoma, is because they're also kids whose parents make a good living wage working in the factory, but are blue collar, but they can afford instruments and go to play their music and make this huge noise. Same thing with Rocky Erickson come out of Fort Worth. You have blue collar workers who are able to buy cars and guitars for their kids, and so they're able to have them learn their instruments. But that's kind of my take on it. And bad. Don't play Ann Arbor, but there's just not the venues anymore.
Nice.
So more books. Here's the early stories of Thomas Pynchon. Now, I've had some of his books over the years. I've never really gotten into his stuff. Once again, I saw this at a library sale and grabbed it. What else have I got here that might be of interest? I haven't had a chance to do a book haul video lately to show these, which is mainly my laziness. There's a bunch of these Hardy Boys from the late 70s, early 80s. Mystery of the Samurai Sword.
Ooh, nice. I'm going to go kill my dog. Hang on a second.
For it.
Knock it off. I'm also awaiting a plumber.
That's no fun.
Yeah, I waited all day yesterday. He came, fixed the water heater in about 5 minutes, left, and then it broke again.
Of course.
So.
Track of a Zombie.
That looks awesome.
Night of the Werewolf. So, in the 80s into the 90s, the Hardy Boys series then was more of an action-adventure kind of thing. This era, I think, was more like spooky, almost. This is 1979. Probably almost Scooby-Doo. But I like this size. I like this trade dress. What else? Oh, we were just talking about Ann Arbor, so I'll show you an Ann Arbor area detective author. I found a bunch of his books. I already had his books, but I saw them cheap. This is Juan Canton, who wrote the Ben Perkins mysteries. His main character lives in the next town over, Ypsilanti, from Ann Arbor, and he does detective stuff. These are kind of the later editions. Here's one of the earlier editions. The character is a former fixer for the UAW, who is now he's a maintenance manager for an apartment complex, and he does some detecting. Here's the back. Detroit, it's no city of angels. But then again, P.I. Ben Perkins isn't a choir boy either. He's not chasing the finer pleasures in life in the Motor City, such as ice-cold beer and red-hot women. He's hunting down bad guys and dodging renegade bullets. Cooling down Motown's mean streets in his vintage Mustang, he finds plenty of actions of both kinds. He's never had a case that hits as close to home as this one.
Wow.
These are just Lauren Esselman and Elmore Leonard. Do you know this guy?
No.
So I picked up a couple of these. There's actually a movie version of this with Richard Dreyfuss from the 70s. It's one of those kind of neo-noirs. I've yet to see it. It's kind of California, soft-boiled, post-hippie. That's what they describe it as.
That's amazing. I'm in.
A series of titles like California Roll. Soft-boiled. Here you go. World's first soft-boiled mystery.
What makes it soft-boiled?
Private Eye for the 80s, the world's first soft-boiled sleuth. He washes down his raw vegetables with screw-top wine, refuses to pack a rod, is a pigeon for beautiful women with a problem, and lives by the honor code of detectives from another era.
Nice.
The refusing to carry a gun that makes you soft-boiled.
Who is that?
It's Richard Holt is the guy's name.
I'm going to check that out. That sounds fun.
You'll appreciate that. It's a penguin.
Nice. Yeah, I'll check that out for sure.
Oh, I got a Prime Suspect tie-in novel.
Okay, let me see if this works any better. Okay, save as... I think I fucked this up, actually. I'm trying to edit PNG files at the minute. Okay, let me see here. Yes, okay with that. Okay, let me... Actually, I'm going to have to do this too. Fucking hell, come on. When I have Photoshop open, usually with anything, my computer crashes.
Photoshop takes up so much.
So, I'm trying to get out of it as quickly as possible. Drive.
This is what the movie was based on. Looks pretty good. It's a great streamlined noir.
Does it have a lot of stuff compared to the movie?
It's been a while since I've watched the movie, and my copy is down here somewhere. I like the movie quite a bit. I haven't watched it multiple times. It's pretty much the same story. Maybe a little more impressionistic, maybe a little more odd, little less linear. But yeah, it's just that. You read westerns at all?
I go through little phases, but they never last as long as I want them to.
Yeah, me too. I read all the Louis L'Amour back when I was in high school and into college.
Nice.
But I find still occasionally. I picked up a copy of Shane because I've never read Shane. And then I mentioned Lauren Esselman, who's our local crime writer of note at this point. Who I once, when I worked at the library, he was giving a presentation with Elmore Leonard. And this is back in the days when I worked security at our local library. And after the event, I was in the lobby with Elmore Leonard and his son, and Elmore Leonard lights up a joint. And I'm thinking, dude, we're in a library. No smoking in the building to begin with. I was like, do I have to kick Elmore Leonard out of the building? Luckily, his son's like, okay, Dad, time to go. But Lauren Esselman is he writes a lot of hard-boiled stuff.
Boom. Okay, I think that works.
Famous Walker novels. And then he's got some more kind of, not quite cozies, but more medium-boiled stuff with his Valentino books, which are film mysteries. And then he also writes a lot of westerns, so I found this one recently that I was very happy to pick up.
What do you think? Have you read the Longmire books at all?
I have not read them. I've seen the series, though.
I haven't watched it because I don't know if I assumed it was going to be shit or what.
Actually, have you read any of them?
I haven't, but my stepdad likes Longmire, and my stepdad has horrible fucking taste, so I just assumed it wasn't going to be good.
I'll tell you why older people like Longmire. Because it's a well-executed adult, and by adult I mean mature, series that doesn't revel in the blood and the sex and the kind of shock or the sensationalism of something like a CSI or a,
Did you watch Justified?
Oh, I love Justified. That was pretty great.
Okay, so compared to Justified, it's more tame.
I would say it's more tame in that it's not quite as edgy, but that doesn't mean that doesn't have its own edges. And there's it's not quite as hip, maybe, but it doesn't need to be. I think it's worth watching. Give it 3 episodes and see if it works for you. Is what I usually say with those kind of shows.
Okay.
Because usually the pilot is they're just trying to get the thing done. The first 2 shows are them trying to get their footing once they get the team
For real.
together.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty good. It's not. So for me, top tier is like Homicide or The Wire. For me, those are like top tier cop shows. Then probably the next tier is going to be The Shield's probably in that top tier as well. The next tier for me is stuff like Life, which was a really great series, or I don't know, better than average, solid stuff. And then you get to the stuff you put on in the background, like Criminal Minds, or Southland's maybe a second tier show, which I thought was still really good.
Okay.
I would put Longmire in that kind of second tier. You can see the procedural angle going, but it's not. I don't feel like it wore itself out. And it talked about some things you don't see necessarily in mainstream media. You don't see a lot about reality of life for Native Americans. You don't see any of that stuff. Give me a minute. I gotta go shut my door.
Oh, you got it. If there's anyone in the chat still, is this a better setup? Can you read the chat? And if someone wants to just send a... Well, actually, let me just see if I can find it. Where the hell is it? Ah, here we go. Okay, let me see.
Here's what I picked up today at my local bookstore.
Aside from not updated. Okay. Shadows. Who is that?
Charles L. Grant. This is his series of short story or anthology series. This one's got Stephen King, Robert Bloch, Ramsey Campbell. This was featured in paperbacks from hell. And the guy, the family, or the owner of the local Aunt Agatha's, they've actually won an Edgar Award for their store. He's a friend of mine, and he had posted something on Facebook about he found another volume of this, had an early William Gibson story in it. And then he had ordered me some stuff that I needed to go pick up. This is what I got that I need to pick up, which is, are you familiar with Black Gat Books?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is one of the newest ones. They're the division of Stark House Press. So I'd read a lot of great things about this. I wanted to check it out.
Are their books pretty well put together? I have some Stark House stuff, but are the Black Gat ones different?
These are smaller size, and they're about half the price. They retail for like $9. And the binding's pretty good. I've got a couple. I've got this one. I've got Angel Flight. I've got the Ori Hit one, and then I've got the first one, which was a Harry Witherington, which is a smaller because it's a shorter book. But yeah, I think this is about the right size. It fits in the hand. The paper's pretty good. It's not too thin. It's not too thick. It's the kind of thing you probably put in a decent sized jacket pocket.
Yeah. That's nice. Alright. Let me see here. Okay, I'm going to go to the other thing. Okay, so this is the intro screen. Uh-oh.
Found a copy of that.
I've never seen that one before.
New American Edition. Complete with the missing chapter from 1988.
Nice. So I have to have the pop out for the chat on top, or else it won't update. So that's stupid as shit. If I had 7 monitors, I could just set everything up around in a circle, and that would be perfect. But yeah, I think that works.
Alrighty.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sitting here, man.
No problem. I just figured, like I said, I was at home doing nothing and figured I could jump on here and we could talk a little and I could.
Oh yeah, let me ask you some stuff too. I keep forgetting to ask you. First off, have you read? There's a website that has PDF versions of all of like Slash Magazine and No Mag and what else does it have?
Roy maybe or something like that.
Damage. Like all those old zines from like the 70s and 80s.
I have not. I used to have the big format reprints they did of Slash back in the 90s. And I tried reading them and didn't get much out of them. So I sold them during the great purge of 2002. I was moving, so I needed to purge a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I did not find them all that interesting.
Oh, it's too bad.
It was maybe the time and place. I went through a lot of phases with the kind of music magazines I read. I read a lot of Maximum Rock and Roll once upon a time.
Yeah.
Which, that's the entry point. A flip side, the best thing I ever read was a magazine called Hit List, which lasted for maybe 3 or 4 years. That was older guys, mainly guys, there were a couple of women involved, who had been part of the early days of punk rock. So like Jello Biafra wrote a column for the first issue.
Yeah.
Jeff Bale, one of the editors, was one of the original editors of Maximum Rock and Roll. And so he had, matured and become older. And it was very, very much oriented towards underground rock and roll and punk. So you had people who were experts on 60s garage rock and people that were into country and people that were into high energy rock and roll, which was what I was into at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a litany of this is what punk is. So maybe I should go back.
I don't know, because like I know they were like written by people who maybe should have been like working the drive-through at McDonald's or something, like it wasn't like a great literary feat. But I just found the site that has all of these old zines on it. But the funny thing is, that book you're talking about, I was looking to pick that book up, and it was so freaking expensive, man.
I believe it. One of the original guys from Slash was the musician Chris D from the Flesh Eaters.
I was just going to ask you about the Flesh Eaters, too.
And he's also in, and I'm sorry that I'm turning my back here, but I have to reach up here to get this stuff. He's also in a band I really love, the Divine Horsemen.
Never heard them. Yeah.
So this is like this is John Doe from X, Christie, Dave Allen from the Blasters,
oh my gosh.
Jerry Leakers from the Gun Club, Texacala Jones from Tex and the Horseheads, Kid Congo Powers, who was in all kinds of bands. So this is Chris D and his soon-to-be wife basically taking that kind of pulp horror and crime and beat stuff of the Flesh Eaters and doing maybe a more roots rock country kind of sound.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more Lee Hazelwood and Nancy Sinatra sounding.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I love it. It's my favorite of the stuff that they did. There's a great Robert Williams cover for you. The artist who did the original Inside for Guns N' Roses' first album.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I have the, what's it called? The Flesh Eaters one with the hand and the...
My copy's in the car. It's See You at the Boneyard or something like that. The older I get, the more I forget the titles of these things.
That's almost what it sounds like, too. The older I get, the more I forget, or something like that. Like, it has, like, a title like that.
On the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack.
Oh, that's amazing.
Of course, I'm not going to be here for it. Not this version of TSOL, but
Yeah.
the next version of TSOL
Uh-huh.
on the Living Dead soundtrack. This is the best. If you like horror and pulp stuff, this is the best TSO album there is for that.
Yeah.
I like TSOL a lot. The Tall Boys.
Nice.
One of the unsung bands on the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack. Offshoot of the Meteors, the psychobilly band. So the original guitarist and bass player who brought more of a garage rock sound to the Meteors, they formed the Tall Boys.
It was crazy because, like, forever, the Return of the Living Dead soundtrack was the only thing I could ever find that had any of those bands on it, with, like, the exception of the Cramps or the Damned.
Or Divine Horseman. This is their Devil's River, which is my favorite of their records. My personal tied for first.
Oh my gosh.
Jeff Blackberry's also on the Return of the Dead soundtrack.
Yeah.
They wrote 2 songs for the soundtrack that were not used in the film. I don't have a cassette of their first album over here, but it's a space western.
Are they on that tape? The ones.
This is their album. This is their second album.
No, I mean the ones that weren't used on Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, so their first album came with the LP of the first album, which is a space western concept record, and it came with a second 12-inch one-sided disc that had both of the original songs on it. They were huge William S. Burroughs fans, so there's a lot of Burroughs references on their records. Enigma Variations, which is also got all of these bands. I just happen to have all this cowpunk stuff sitting here. And Naked Prey. Under the Blue Marlin, that's a great record. Blood on the Saddle on SST. Yeah, there's so much of this stuff that I really love and dig. And so much of it has kind of a pulpy, crime, horror, psychotronic kind of underpinning to it.
Okay, I'm going to end the stream real quick. But you stay there, sir.